Okay. Hareini nozer v'olai legaleach. V'olai legaleach nozer. He says, I am a nozir, and in addition, v'olai legaleach nozer. So he's saying two things. First, he's a nozir, and I have an obligation to provide for another nozir when the nozir cuts his hair off, he has to bring korbanos. V'olai legaleach nozer, and I have an obligation to provide the means for another Nazir to cover his Nazirus. That's the netter. V'shama chaveiro. And after he said that, his fellow heard this. V'ani. V'ani v'olai l'glech Nazir. So ani is, that's a what? That's a yad. That's a yad. Said he's a Nazir. The other person, and I will also. And all, he says, v'olai l'glech Nazir. And he also will cover another Nazirus. So Reuven says, I'm a Nazir, and it will cover somebody else's Nazirus. That when he has to cut his hair, I'll provide whatever's needed. And the other person hears, he says, when he hears that, he says, Ani, that means I will also be a Nazir. Or Lai Legaleach, Nazir, and I also will cover. So it says, Im Hoyu Pikhin, if they're smart, both of them, Legalchem Zezeh, each one covers the cost of the other one, right? Because the obligation is to cover the cost. So when he covers the cost, Reuven is bringing on behalf of Shimon. Shimon is bringing on behalf of Shimon, so they don't have to have a double outlay of money. Vim lav, but if not, megalchim. Excuse me. Vim lav megalchim nazirim acherim. They'll provide for other nazirim, right? They'll cover themselves. In addition, they have to cover other nazirim. Iboilu. Shama chaver v'ama va'ani mau. See, the Mishnah says when the other person heard the first person saying it. Says Vani v'olai legalech nozer. He said the same thing. The only thing that was the yad was the ani. But the second part was what he actually said. What about if he would just say Vani? And I also. Does I also mean A, B? Or does I mean A and not B? That's the shayla. Shama chaver v'vani ma'u vani akule diburi mashma. Ani is going back on the full statement. O dilmo apalgi dibur mashma. The Gemara is going to question me, and even with even half, is it the first half or the second half? Imtim sloma apalgi diburi mashma. And if you say it's not going back on the full statement, areisho aseifa is the beginning of the statement, meaning ani, meaning nazir, or ani to cover somebody but not to be a nazir. Toshma, bring a raya. Vani, what does the person say? The case in the Mishnah. Vani v'olai legalech nazir. It says, I will be megalech nazir. The second person says, Im hoyu pikri megalfen zeh, and it says if they're smart, they megalech. Midikama vani v'olai. Since the second person had to say both, it's clearly shema mino vani apalgi diburi koamri. It's clear if he had to say, the Mishnah says when the second person is obligated in both, he said ani, and also I will provide. So that's clear. Ani doesn't cover both. Because if it covers both, the Mishnah would have said it. Ani and I. So evidently I doesn't cover both. It covers one. Okay? Right? Koamri. So when it says ain, you're right. In the Mishnah we have a clear proof. Ani doesn't cover the full statement. Ain apalgi diburi mashma. Now but we're back to the other question. Ma'miu areisho aseifa. Right? Does ani cover the first statement or the second statement? Excuse me. Excuse me. Hello? It's a financial commitment. It's financial commitment. It's a netter. I obligate myself to cover somebody else's korbanos. Okay? So we see clearly it means only one, not both. No, if he says ani and that, so he could have said ani. See that he's obligated, supposed to be a nazir. The second person, when you heard the first one make this double statement, he says I and ani, I want to be also. Plus, I'm also obligating myself. So what's the ani referring to? Ani is I'm a nazir. Plus, I'm obligating myself. But clearly, you see, clearly, ani doesn't cover both. Because ani would cover both. What do you have to say? And I also will obligate myself. Let him just say ani. Now we're back to the question. Is it the first part of the statement or the second part of the statement? No. Right. Correct. So now we have a question. Is it the first or the second? So the Gemara says, yeah. In Apal Gedibur Mashma, Miu, Aresho, O Aseifa. So the Gemara says, Midikomer Valai Legaleach. Ani al tchilas dibur. Mashma. Since he said ani, and he said v'alai lekaleach. Okay, so that's clear. It's going on the first part. Firstly, why? Why is it mashma? No, I understand. When you ani clearly doesn't go on both. Doesn't go on both. But so it doesn't go on both. Wait. No. Ani could be, and I also. What does I also mean? I also to be, or I also to have an obligation, right? So we see since he had to say both, it clearly doesn't go on both. But ani could be, and I also obligate. How do you see the mission? Since it doesn't go on both, so he had to say something else. You're good. No, but of course, no. Maybe what he says, ani, when I don't hear it to be so strong. Yeah, of course it means something else. In that context, of course, ani is going back on nazir. But because he had to say, ani doesn't cover both. Covers one. Ani covers one, because he had to say the second. But of course, if he wants both, he has to say something else. So what is he going to say? Ani v'alai. So what else is he going to say? Right? What is he going to say? Ani, what should he say? Ani ve'yeh nazir. Maybe that's what he should have said. No, but I'm saying. No, I don't mean that. Maybe that is. No, which means. No, I understand that. The way the Gemara brings it, he had to say, if ani clearly doesn't go on both. Now that we have a question, what does ani mean? To be a nazir, ani means the second. Right? That's the question.
If it's a nazir, then he is included in it.
No, you're wrong. What you're saying now is incorrect. Incorrect.
Why?
Of course, if I'm a nazir, of course I have all the responsibilities of a nazir. But in addition, we talk about the additional obligation to provide for another person's karbonos, not your own karbonos. Of course, you're obligated your own karbonos. But let's see, would say ani without saying volai legaleach. What did he mean ani? Is he going in the first part of the person's statement or said? That was the shayla.
Right.
So saying if it's the second, that means he's not a nazir. That means he's not a nazir.
Correct. It's just right. That's right.
But if it's going in the first, he means only a nazir and he has no responsibility to anybody else. Right? That's the question.
Okay.
So Mar wants to resolve it because since it says he had to say ani alai besides ani, it's clear it's going in the first part. So I'm just saying, when you want both, ani clearly doesn't say both. So how do you cover both? You say A, B. But if you say A, maybe A goes on B, not on A.
Okay.
Right? Unless you mean like this, because if you wanted to say A, B, when it's olai, what do you have to say? Vani olai. He should have said. No, he could have said, not olai. That's what the Gemara says. The Gemara doesn't say that. One second. Amar Rav Huna vani Mirakoma v'alai legalech shmame vani al tchilas dibura mashu. Amar Rav Huna the Rabbi Mimai. The Hachi says, who said? La'ola meimaloch vani akuli diburei. He's even questioning on the first thing he said, right? V'im mishum v'alai maikoma v'alai b'hamilsa. He says, well, I mean, in that regard to that, ani v'alai b'ham milsa. But ani covers both, because otherwise, it's like a person. So it's like a person sometimes reiterates something.
Right.
You're reiterating. So therefore, the ilotem hochi, the Tani say, arei legaleach chatzi nazir. Person says, I'll be megaleach only what? Chatzi nazir. I'll be a nazir for 15 days. Right? Chatzi nazir. Walai legaleach chatzi nazir. 1 second. V'shama chaver v'mani, olay l'garatzi nosir. Rega. It says, harei olay l'galei chatzi nosir, v'shama chaver v'mani, olay l'chatzi nosir. And the other person says, v'ani, olay l'galei chatzi. See, over there he said, ani. The other man didn't say harini nosir. Harei olay l'galei chatzi nosir, v'shama chaver v'ani, olay. Ani olai. See, what do you see from there? It's reiteration.
Yeah.
You see from the Sefer, it's a reiteration, right? Ani olai. Okay? Because the first person didn't say Hareini Nazir. So it says, Hosam Ika Tati Mili. There he didn't discuss two issues. You have a case.
Yeah.
The man didn't say Hareini Nazir and that. He just says, I accept to cover half the cost of somebody else's Nazirus. And the other one says, Ani volai. So what did Ani mean? He could have said Vani. What do you have to say Volai? There it's clear, so I'm going back on one. So there we're not talking about two issues. So why do you have to say Volai? So it's clear the Olai is only a reiteration of Ani. But Ani covered whatever the first thing he said. Elamai, Komar, Olai bo milsa. Means Olai in that. It's like a reiteration of that. Somewhere it says. Hochanami ki Olai bo milsa. That's what he means. The olai doesn't mean it's not going back on that. So therefore, so it's not no indication of that. So therefore, it's a chiddush meaning. Amalei rahochi yash iyamrit b'shlom reisha tzricha sefer lo tzricha tani sefer lo tzricha mishum reisha tzricha eliyamrit reisha lo tzricha sefer lo tzricha tani reisha lo tzricha with a sefer lo tzricha. He's saying like this. If you'd say the first case is speak about Ani is going on one thing. Right? Versus Ani. The Olai Legaleach. So clearly he said two things. So if you say Olai is not a reiteration, so Olai he had to say in the ratio for the second. So what's the Sefer? The Sefer is not necessary. What do you have to present that case? To tell me he reiterated it. What do you have to say it? The answer is, of course, it's similar to the first case. But if we're saying if the first case, Olai is a reiteration. Ani really was all-inclusive. No, we want to say, no, I understand, but it's not necessary. He wants to say, really, Ani would cover both. No, that's what he's saying. Ani, I'll tell you, he wants, maybe Ani covers everything. That was the question. He respects, maybe Ani covers everything. Olai is only, that's superfluous. Ani would have covered A and B. Olai is really a reiteration of part of what A included. He says, if that's the case, everything's included. So what do you tell me the second case? The second case is not adding anything to the first case. Right? The half. What are you adding? If you say the first is telling me what? It's not all-inclusive. And I need it. Okay, then it's that. But if the second one tells me a reiteration. But if the first is a reiteration because I need what's covering everything, what do I need the second case? Right? They're both unnecessary. Therefore, we say Ani only covers one. Only covers one. Alai and the Sefer in Hochanami, it's a reiteration, but which is not a chiddush. That's what it's saying. Om Rav Yitzchok, Rav Yosef, Rav Yochanan. Okay, stop. V'tani Sefer lo tzricha. Om Rav Yitzchok. So what are we coming at? We're coming at Ani is not doesn't cover A B. It covers just one, and which one of the one? It's one and not B. So a person would say Hareini Nazir. Well, by looking at it, the person would say Vani. What does Ani mean? Nazir. Not the second. Okay? Om Reb Yochanan. Om Reb Yitzchok Bar Yosef Reb Yochanan. Interesting shaila. Really, it has to do with this week's parsha. Arami Yovi Rovi. We'll do this next Gemara. Ha'ome l'shlucho. Say v'kadish li'isha. Stam. Here, a man says to a person, I want you to go marry a woman for me. An agent. But he didn't say which woman. And then the man goes and marries a woman, then he dies. The agent dies. So he never reported back to who he married. You hear this? He never reported back we married. So now every woman he comes upon, maybe Achosisha, and maybe Chamov, Chamoso, maybe many things. He can't marry. Maybe a daughter, right? The woman he married may have been the mother of this woman. Also, b'chol noshim sheba'olam. He's not permitted to marry anyone. Why? Chasoka, shlichos, shlichuso. The question, if he died, maybe he never carried out the agency. No, we say with certainty, he definitely carried out the agency. That means he married some woman out there. We don't know who the woman is. So what we're going to say, he came upon his wife. Maybe he didn't come upon his wife. Maybe this woman is an incestuous relationship because of the woman who the shlich married. Right? The kevado porish, lay. And since he didn't tell him who he should marry, holo yoda, hain yu kodesh lay. He doesn't know who he married. Now let's stop for a moment. The way some learn, it says when Eliezer came to find a wife on behalf of Yitzchak, it says Lavan tried to poison him. Besul tried to first poison him. Right? And if it would have been, he would have poisoned him. So Eliezer wanted to be Makadosh and Isha, but who's the wife? I mean, it's a shvachim. We don't know. So if that's the case, there would have never, Arami Ovidovi, there would have never been a Klal Yisrael. Because Avram wouldn't have allowed Yitzchak to marry anybody, because everybody comes into this question over here, right? Who is it? Okay, no. First, no. Not only that. Not only that. There's no achazisha. There's no bito. There's none of this. Nothing. Besides that, he said specifically for my family, right? So he could have married anybody else. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah. Let's see Tosis. Tosis is a good question, as he always does. Why only is he also? Or everybody should not be. Maybe she's an Eishes Ish, right? Maybe this is the woman who he married. So you say she's an adult. She says, "Look, I never got married to anybody." But what about if she's a katana? Every katana you should be able to marry, right? Anybody who at that time who was a minor. And the father died, so you can't consult with the father who he married his daughter to. Maybe the father married off this katana, so no katana should be able to marry anybody. She may be an Eishes Ish. Yeah. V'imtoma kuli alma yesu lisa noshim the shema zosi shenis kacha yidei shliach. One second. The Rabbeinu Tam. Let's see, Vav. That Rabbeinu Tam. The Chitema takes it out. Yeah. He says, Rabbeinu Tam the Pirish. The Anoshim Nemonis Loma Lonis Kadashti. Tenach. Right? Tenach Gedolos. A woman's belief say, look, I've never married. You can't say, I may be the woman. I'm not the woman. Right? You believe Tanos, Shenin Yodos, Imavir Kibel Avurin Kedushan, Michael Amemar. Ukvar Meso Vio. So you can't consult with the father because the father would be the equivalent of the woman herself. So how could anybody marry a minor who was a minor at the time that this man sent their shlich to be Makadish? Why were we saying that he's not permitted to marry any woman, the one who sent the agent? Every person's not permitted to any woman who was a minor where you can't verify through the father. Well, the Gemara's going to speak about certain things in a moment. Right? I mean, you have a right to go after the rove. You have a majority. What, the majority of the women are related to this woman? The majority not. Klomar. Mikrovos. Dazlim Basaruva. Milomar. Let's see. Ches. Klomar. Mikrovos Hamagodoshes. He. Yeah. To say, you go, what the majority of the women are related to this woman who he married. The majority of women in the world not related to this woman. Yeah, that we don't let the man marry anybody, we're penalizing him. Why? No, it's not the rest. It's Rabbanon. Achram Lahatos. Right? Because we penalize him, totally, it's irresponsible. How do you send an agent without telling him who you want to marry? The first woman you meet, just marry, right? So on a Torah level, he can marry anybody, right? 1 second. V'lo pirish lo lekadish plonis, ulday konsu lachrina lo konsu. They penalize in there. Why should they penalize the world? The world has rove to rely on. Vimtoma levi surah doraiso davali kavuach kavu kemertza mertza domi. Right, it's kavu. It's like you have 10 butcher shops. One's kosher, one's not kosher, and you're not sure which. And you buy at one of them, and you're not sure which shop you bought in. So what is it? Since the non-kosher shop is in its location, we have a principle, kol kavu kemertza. We see it as what, a 50-50. Even though probability it's a majority. So here also, whoever he married, she's in her location among everybody else. So if that's the case, it's kavua. Kavua means it's set. The only time you go after rove is if you find the meat in the street. If you have a herd and somebody goes out, the question is, who did it separate from? From the kosher shop, from the non-kosher shop. So since the majority of shops are kosher, we say it came from the kosher shop. Right? What about if you went and bought the meat in the shop? And you leave the shop and then you don't know which store you bought the meat. The kosher shop or the non-kosher shop. You're not permitted to eat the meat. Even though you have the same probability. Difference, of course, what is my question? Which shop was I in? And since among the shops, the non-kosher shop is set in its place, you don't apply the principle of rove. That's the, so here also. The woman, where is she? She's in her home, wherever she is. So now, other women. I want to marry another woman in her home. But that home is among all the other homes. So if that's the case, that's kavua. It's like the butcher shop. The Ishlomar, Sato says something interesting. The lo amina kavua kemertza mertza elok she'isen nikor la'atzmo vetid nit la'atzmo. Meaning, the shops is speaking about, you know which is the kosher shop, you know which is the non-kosher shop. 9 kosher shops, and each one's marked. One's a non-kosher shop. I was in one, I can't recall which one I was in. Right? So you want to subsume the kosher, but it's obvious where the kosher shop is. That's kavua. In our situation, let's say none of the shops. You have 10 shops, 9 are kosher, 1 is not kosher, according to Tosas. And you buy meat in one of them, you go after rove. According to Tosas saying, because you don't know which is the non-kosher shop. It's Eino Nicker. The non-kosher. Here also, the woman, although she may be in her location, it's not clear who she is. Right? We don't know who it is. That's what he says. Lo amina kavua kemertza elo she'isa nikol la'atzmo vehetin nikol la'atzmo. Al sheni said nikol la'atzmo. We don't know who the woman is. Right? Lo amina kavua. You know, it's interesting. There's a Tosa Chulin, and Rameir Simcha shows in that Tosa says something interesting. Over there, Tosa asks the question, how do you ever say bittul barov? Non-kosher meat falls into a pot. So we say bittul barov. Right? So, and that's Tosa's question. So it's kol kavua kemertza mertza. You want to subsume something that's in there. How is it subsumed? You know, factually, there's not kosher piece of meat in there. How do you go after rove? Right? Factually, there's a non-kosher piece of meat there. So we say kavua. That's Tosa's question. So Tosa says that since it's not nikar or iser, we don't say kavua. Wait. So over there, you could look. Over there, it's different than here. It's different than here. Yeah. See, because over there, I'm dealing with a piece of meat. So Rameir Simple says, you know why you don't? Why it's not good? Since it's not nikar, I'm able to say bittul. Since it's not, you don't know where it is. It's subsumed. Once it's subsumed, it's not kavua any longer. When can't you say bittul? One day to after rove. Of course, the location is still in its place. Right? You can't subsume the butcher shop. Of course, you see the butcher shop. But over here, with the meat, it's subsumed. But a person can be subsumed. A person can be subsumed. Because she knows who she is. Whoever receives it, she knows who she is. So evidently, we're saying, the xeris of kavua that we don't apply rove is only when you're able to identify the issue. No. But we're applying it even by the woman, it's different. No, not subsumed. No, not subsumed. No, kol the parish, meruba parish. Kol the parish. There's no, you can't subsume a person. No, you apply the principle. No, she's an Eshes Ish. There's an Eshes Ish among all the women. Among all the women in the world, there's an Eshes Ish. She does. Doesn't make a difference. No. A person can't be subsumed because a person is no. There's a difference. It's nistapach lisketer. It's nistapach liskeser. It's nistapach liskeser. It's not so simple. There's a question like this: Why can't a person be subsumed? The Gemara says like this: that if you have 9 Jews and 1 Gentile in a group, and then you take a stone and you throw it into the group, the stone is definitely going to kill 1 of the 10. And you forewarned, don't throw the stone because you're going to kill someone. And since 9 of the 10 are Jews, so if you go after Rove rules you're killing a Jew. You should be liable for the death penalty. You kill a non-Jew, you're not liable for the death penalty. So it says, the Gemara says in Shubas, you're not liable for the death penalty. That since there's a non-Jew in the group, so we say kol kavur kemechza mechza. We say, right, in the group, you know there's 1 non-Jew. So for killing a non-Jew, there's no liability death penalty. So therefore, and you threw it in the group, so in that group, you have what? You have the Gentile. Therefore, Rove cannot rule. That's the so from there. That's what the Gemara speaks. Kol kavur kemechza.